Dozens of people taking an unusual tour of Houston today to see many of the known spots for human trafficking. Fox 26's Dominique Keith takes us on that tour.
This was the breaking room where they would literally just beat the woman down physically.
Do a search of places to visit in Houston and chances are this won't pop up under top 10 attractions.
He would have to shower, make sure that he wasn't law enforcement.
This was once a brothel. According to organizers of this eye-opening tour, right here on the Southwest Freeway, this place was full of women held as sex slaves.
That she didn't even know that she had a way of escape, that there was a window there the whole time, because that's where she stayed. They kept her in that room.
This 26-year-old 8th grade social studies teacher has a similar story.
When I got here, it was an absolute nightmare.
Most of Miriam Cagasso's life she has lived imprisoned right here in the United States. She was brought here from Africa to be a labor and sex slave.
I was physically, sexually, and emotionally abused for the majority of my life.
Her parents thought a family friend was bringing her here to give her a better life.
And I basically was a housekeeper. I cleaned at 7 years old. I cleaned, I cooked, I babysat for free. I was locked in a house. I couldn't go anywhere.
South Main Baptist Church and a number of organizations are coming together to try to stop this modern-day slavery.
We leave here with one goal, which is everybody knowing the National Human Trafficking Hotline and know how to use it and will cease to be afraid to call. I think I will have considered the event very successful.
The National Human Trafficking Hotline is 888-373-7888. Now, Green hopes you will save it and use it. She says you don't have to have any inside information. For instance, if you see a massage parlor with only male customers.
Well, that's not normal. A massage parlor should have all types of traffic.
Green says too many human traffickers get away with it because they are never reported. Miriam Cagasso was 22 years old before she had the courage to get help. Her abusers simply moved away.
And I try not to think about, the whole injustice of the situation, but, I just know that the Lord, even in that, He has a plan.
The van tours highlighting Houston's human trafficking problem run every week. Find more information on myfoxhouston.com. In Southwest Houston, I'm Dominique Keith, Fox 26 News.
So I'm standing right now in a building, just finished up doing some volunteer work with my wife. And I'm standing in a building that my wife and I came to about a year or so ago. It was a formal brothel. It was a day spa. And through the beginning of one individual's thoughts and actions and desire to begin to free women from bondage and essentially modern day slavery and rape, took it upon herself to take action. And so where we're standing now is this brothel that they first came into to minister to these women and just to reach out to these women who had been trafficked here illegally and that were having to perform sex acts on men, sometimes up to as many as 30 different men per day. That's one woman, and 30 men per day. So, but where we're standing now is the same exact building. It's a long story, but that same exact building that used to be used for human trafficking and sex trafficking is now the headquarters of their mission and their organization to help free these women. And also, Houston, Texas, where I live, is also the highest area in our country of human and sex trafficking as well. So it's a fairly significant issue across the world, across our country, and certainly here in the Houston area. So where I'm taking you, I'm going to take you on a quick tour, is in this room, in this entry room, the guy would come down into the area. You can see there's bolts on the floor for the ATM machine. He'd sit in this couch, and the women would be brought into this area. This was a sliding glass window, and they would essentially open the window, and he would pick from the women. They would line them up, and he would pick the woman that he wanted to purchase. At that point in time, this place used to be really, really dark, very dark. And there's a few reasons for that. One, they're trying to beat these women down psychologically. And there's also a breaking room I'm going to show you, where they wanted to break the women, not only psychologically, but physically beat them down. All right, women who are in a foreign country, foreign land, taken here against their will, lied to, being told that their family is going to be financially supported. Then when they get here, there's really no financial support. And they say, if you don't perform, if you don't do this, if you try to run away, your family is going to be beaten and killed. All right, so then after that point in time, the guy would come back. They'd strip him down, make him take a shower, to make sure, the purpose of that was to make sure that he was an undercover police officer investigator. Some other rooms back there. And then at that point in time, he would go to the room. There were 7 to 10 women who lived in here, lived in this building. I don't know if you're noticing, but there's no windows in this room except for the front of the building. They've covered all the windows. It was very, very dark. Tiny, not even 7-foot ceilings, very restrictive. And then they've converted all this to office space now, but every single room here was a room for each girl. And this room here, which was tiny, it's been converted to a big room now. There's a wall in the middle. This room, my video broke up. This room right here was a beating room. It was very dark. It was very small. The women were brought in to get beat down. All right, so there's, once again, psychological beatings and physical beatings. And then the last thing I want to share with you was in this room, just one of the girls' rooms. Once again, they had a bed. This was all of their existence. Foreign country, not speaking the language, having to perform sex acts on men that they don't even know, sometimes as many as 20 or 30 in a day. And in this room, after this room was taken over by Elijah Rising, they were doing some demo on the walls and doing some repairs. And the founder of Elijah Rising put a sledgehammer through this wall, through this sheetrock. And one of the girls that used to be one of the girls who worked here, broke free, was helping this organization, was in this room, and realized when they put that sledgehammer through the sheetrock, that the only thing that was essentially blocking her from freedom and escape was a piece of sheetrock and a thin piece of siding on the front of this building. There's obviously a lot more barriers in that, a lot of psychological barriers and things like that, which is part of the problem of that is one of the issues of this problem. So is bridging the gap on when the girls want to leave and decide to leave, to bridge that gap on helping them successfully make the escape into the real world, most likely in a country, like, once again, that they don't even speak the language. So I encourage you guys to do what my wife and I did, and just to begin by becoming aware of a problem that exists in our country, because I'll be honest, I didn't know that this problem exists. Turn off the lights. I didn't know the problem existed, that it was such a big problem as it is. I knew it existed, but not at the abundance that it currently exists in our country. So I encourage you guys to just become aware of what's going on in your community and what's going on. I thought there was a guy walked up, because occasionally guys will come up thinking this is a baseball still, but it was not.